The team at Technology for Hotels knows how busy you are. So we've created this concise briefing to keep you up to date on key happenings in the hotel industry. Let's dive in. It seems like every week there are exciting new hotels opening up, and this week is no exception.
Right. Ennismore, the lifestyle hospitality company, is making a big splash with new openings in Australia. We're seeing new Hyde Mondrian and 25 Hours hotels popping up in Perth, the Gold Coast, and Sydney. This suggests they're really targeting that growing luxury and lifestyle travel market in those regions.
It definitely seems like Australia is becoming a hotspot for hotel development. What other interesting openings are on your radar?
Well, Doma, a leading Australian hotel developer, is putting the finishing touches on their Little National Hotel project in Adelaide. This boutique hotel boasts a rooftop bar and lounge with incredible 360-degree views, clearly aiming for a traveler who appreciates design, a local experience, and, let's be honest, an Instagrammable moment or two.
So new properties are grabbing headlines, but what's happening with existing hotels? Are they just sitting back and watching?
No, not at all. Renovations and rebranding are keeping things fresh. Take EVT Hotels and Resorts, for example. They're transforming the Tankstream Hotel into the Rydges Australia Square in Sydney.
Interesting. What's the strategy behind that?
Well, it seems they're emphasizing a refreshingly local ethos to resonate with guests seeking authentic experiences. They're not just offering a place to stay, they're weaving the hotel into the fabric of the city itself.
Makes sense. Travelers are looking for more than just a bed these days. Speaking of changes in the hotel landscape, what's catching your eye on the acquisitions and investments front?
There's definitely some big money moves happening. Morgan Hotels just sold the Madison Plaza Townsville to a private Asian investor,
Yeah.
which could indicate growing interest in regional markets.
It's interesting to see those investment trends shift. Any other notable deals?
Definitely. The Bill Berger Group and Metrics Credit Partners are teaming up for a major project at 338 Pitt Street in Sydney. They're creating a mixed-use development with a hotel apartments and retail space.
That seems to be a growing trend. These mixed-use developments.
Absolutely. It's a reflection of how our urban spaces are evolving. People want to live, work, and play all within a convenient hub.
And it goes, we can't talk about acquisitions without mentioning the Star Management Group. They're on a roll, having just acquired the Rydges Mackay Suites, adding to their portfolio, which already includes the Rydges Gold Coast Airport Hotel. They seem to have a pretty aggressive growth strategy.
They do. It suggests ambitious plans to expand their footprint and become a major player in the Australian hotel market. And then we have City Developments Limited making a strategic play for complete control of Millennium and Copthorne Hotels New Zealand with their bid to acquire the remaining shares. If successful, they could delist the company, giving them more flexibility in the future.
It's always fascinating to see how these power plays unfold. But beyond individual companies, there are always those larger industry trends we need to keep an eye on. What's on your radar there?
Well, one trend that's getting significant traction, especially in Australia, is the rise of hotel franchising.
Why is this model becoming so popular, especially now?
It offers a lot of advantages, especially in a post-pandemic world where flexibility is key. For hotel owners, it's cost-effective. They can adapt quickly to changing market conditions and still benefit from strong brand recognition.
And for the brands themselves, it's a lower-risk way to expand their reach. Any examples of companies successfully using this model?
Trilogy Hotels is a great example. They're an independent hotel management company that's embraced franchising as a core part of their growth strategy.
So do you think franchising is going to become the dominant operating model in the Australian hotel industry?
It's certainly a possibility. The cost advantages, flexibility, and access to established brands are very attractive, but it will all depend on how well brands can adapt their franchise models to meet the evolving needs of hotel owners and, of course, those all-important guests.
That's a great point. Speaking of guests, let's talk about another big trend impacting their experience: dining.
Right. We're seeing some really interesting trends in hotel dining, driven by both technology and evolving guest expectations.
For example, mobile ordering. It's all about convenience and personalization these days.
Absolutely. And those integrated digital compendiums are changing the game too. Imagine menus that seamlessly blend with other hotel services, offering guests a more personalized and streamlined experience.
It's like having a digital concierge at your fingertips.
Ah,
I also love how hotels are embracing flexibility, offering on-demand snacks and beverages instead of being tied to traditional dining hours. It's all about catering to the modern traveler's lifestyle.
Exactly. And while we're on the topic of catering, let's not forget about sustainability. Hotels are increasingly focused on local sourcing and eco-friendly practices, appealing to a growing segment of environmentally conscious travelers.
It's not just good for the planet, it's good for business.
Right. Sustainability is no longer a niche concern. It's a core value that resonates with guests and can really drive revenue growth. And speaking of revenue, hotels are getting smarter about upselling and cross-selling through technology, using data analytics to tailor dining recommendations to individual guest preferences.
That makes a lot of sense. Personalization is key. What other technological advancements are you seeing?
AI assistance is becoming more prevalent. Chatbots and virtual assistants are being used to streamline service and enhance efficiency. It's like having a digital staff member always on call, ready to assist guests with their needs.
But of course, technology should complement, not replace human interaction. It's all about finding the right balance.
Absolutely. Speaking of finding the right balance, another trend we're seeing is the rise of health-conscious menus.
This makes sense given the broader societal shift towards healthier lifestyles.
Hmm. Exactly. And of course, we can't forget the power of social media. Instagrammable dishes and experiences are becoming a major draw for travelers, so hotels are definitely taking note.
So it seems like hotel dining is becoming more tech-savvy, personalized, and focused on creating a more holistic experience for guests.
You've got it. It's an exciting time for the culinary side of the hotel industry. But let's shift gears for a moment and focus on the people who make this industry thrive. The individuals driving innovation and delivering exceptional guest experiences.
Yes. The stars in motion. There are always some interesting career moves happening in the hotel world.
For sure. We've got Matthew Guy stepping into the role of Area General Manager for New South Wales at Meriton Suites. Britt Therese is taking on the position of Operations Manager at the Mercure Alice Springs Resort with Accor. And Ian Piradon is embracing a new challenge as Chief Operations Officer at the Cooper Group.
It's fascinating to see such diverse career paths within the industry. What other movements have caught your eye?
We have Sarah Badams heading to Shell Cove to become the General Manager of the Crown Plaza, Angelo DiMarco stepping up as Hotel General Manager at TFE Hotels, and Mark Denham taking on the role of Director of Residences and Hotel Facilities Management at the Mondrian Gold Coast. These moves highlight the dynamism of the industry, with people taking on new challenges across brands and regions.
It certainly speaks to the global nature of the hotel industry. Any other notable changes before we move on?
We also have Akash Sood taking on the position of Cluster General Manager at TFE Hotels, and Nick Smith venturing into Asia as Vice President of Operations for Minor Hotels.
Wow, that's a big move. It's inspiring to see so many talented individuals making their mark on the industry.
Yeah, it really is. It highlights the interconnectedness of the hotel world, a global community where talent and expertise are highly valued.
Absolutely. Okay, we've covered new openings, acquisitions, and even some interesting career moves. But we also talk about some pretty significant industry trends, like the rise of franchising and the impact of technology on the guest experience. Of all the things we've discussed, what do you think is the most crucial for hotel leaders to focus on in the coming months?
That's a great question. It's hard to pick just one because there are so many moving parts in this industry. But if I had to choose, I'd say the convergence of technology and guest experience is the area where leaders need to be most strategic.
That's interesting. Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Well, we talked about things like mobile ordering, integrated digital compendiums, and AI assistants. All of these things are changing how guests interact with hotels. Technology is no longer just a tool for efficiency behind the scenes. It's becoming integral to creating a seamless, personalized, and memorable experience for the guest.
So it sounds like hotels need to be thinking about how to leverage technology, not just to improve operations, but to really elevate that guest experience.
Exactly. It's about investing in the right technologies, training staff to use them effectively, and constantly looking for ways to innovate and improve the guest journey.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to hotel leaders who might be feeling a bit overwhelmed by all this technological change?
I'd say don't be afraid to experiment. The industry is evolving rapidly, so those who are willing to embrace change, try new things, and see what works for their specific properties will be the ones who thrive.
That's a great takeaway. Embrace change, experiment, and prioritize that guest experience. Well, that wraps up this week's 5-Star Weekly Briefing. We've covered a lot of ground, from new developments and acquisitions to industry trends and career moves. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it really is exciting to see.
It's clear that there's a lot of innovation and adaptation happening, and it's all driven by that commitment to creating truly exceptional experiences for guests.
Mm-hmm. And that's really what it's all about at the end of the day, creating those memorable moments that keep guests coming back for more.
Absolutely. So for those of you who want to keep digging deeper into these topics and explore even more insights from industry leaders, be sure to check out our 5-Star Conversations podcast.
You'll hear from some of the most influential voices in the hospitality world, sharing their experiences and visions for the future.
It's a must-listen for anyone who's passionate about taking their hotel to the next level.
That wraps up this week's 5-Star Weekly Briefing. Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, stay well, stay informed, and keep raising the bar in the world of hospitality.